Good morning to all. Our today's topic is types of wiring. It is the second chapter of our subject estimation and costing in electrical engineering. What is electrical wiring? Electrical wiring is the distribution of electrical power through the wires for economic use of wiring conductors with better load control. So these are the types of wiring. First one is cleat wiring, then batten wiring, casing and capping wiring, conduit wiring and concealed conduit wiring. First one is cleat wiring. These are the cleats with grooves. So first diagram shows the cleat with two grooves. For example, we want to draw two wires, one is phase and other is neutral, then we will use the cleat with two grooves. If we want to draw three wires, one is phase, other is neutral, third one is earth, then we will use the cleat with three grooves. So vulcanized Indian rubber or polyvinyl chloride insulated wires are braided and compounded on walls or ceiling with the help of porcelain cleats. First of all, cleats are fixed on the wall at particular intervals, 10 centimeter or 15 centimeter. Then wires are drawn through the grooves. Wires can be weatherproof. It is the simplest laying system. It is not recommended for houses or buildings. That is, they are not recommended for permanent installations. They are only used for temporary camps or festival related pandals. Advantages: it is cheap and easy wiring. Fault detection is very easy as wires are visible from outside. Easy to repair. Moreover, extension or alteration is easy. Their limitation: their appearance is not good as the whole wiring system is visible. Then they are exposed to weather. They can be affected by humidity, rain, smoke, sunlight, etc. There are chances of shock or fire. It is not long lasting as it is a temporary wiring system. Sometimes sags also happen. Sag happens because it is exposed to the sunlight, weather. Then second is the batten wiring. Batten is basically a wooden batten which is fixed on the wall and then wires are laid on this batten with the help of a clip. It is the obsolete wiring system. Nowadays we are not use this wiring system. In past times this wiring system is used for permanent installations. So a group of single or double or three core cables are used to laid on teak wooden batten and the cables are held with the help of a clip, buckle clip, and then the brass pins are used to fix this clip on the wooden batten. Buckle clips are fixed with brass pin on the wooden batten at the interval of 10 centimeter for horizontals and 15 centimeter for vertical runs. Here in the left side diagram you can see the batten fixed on the wall and then cables are laid on this batten and this cable and these cables are then fixed on the batten with the help of a clip and clip is fixed with the help of a brass pins. Advantages: their installation is easy, cheap in material cost, appearance is better as compared to the cleat wiring, fault detection is easy as wires are visible from outside, extension is also easy. Limitation: they're not suitable for outdoor wiring as wires are exposed to the weather. Then humidity etc. can directly affect the wires. Then they are not recommended for heavy wires. And then there is a high risk of fire. Third one is casing and capping wiring. PVC or VIR insulated wires are carried through the casing. Casing is first fixed on the wall with the help of a gitties. And then wire is drawn on this casing and then capping is put over the casing. So this is casing and capping wiring. In past times, this casing and capping is made up of wooden. Means the wooden casing and capping was used. But nowadays, the casing and capping wiring, casing and cappings are made up of PVC material. Advantages: cheap and easy to install, strong wiring, customization means extension is easy, safe from smoke, dust, etc. because wires are not exposed to the environment. Due to casing and capping, no risk of shocks as the wires are protected inside. Limitation: they are costly as compared to cleat and batten wiring. They are not suitable for weather with high humidity and acidic condition. And third point is for wooden casing capping. For wooden casing capping, termites or ants can damage that wooden casing and capping, and then last one is the high risk of fire. Both in both cases, PVC as well as wooden, there is a high risk of fire. Then is the conduit wiring. Conduit wiring is easy to install. Firstly, on the surface, there are two types of conduit wiring. First one is surface conduit wiring, and then second one is concealed conduit wiring. In case of surface conduit wiring, the conduits are fixed on the wall, and then with the help of a saddle, then the wire is drawn through these conduits. Here you can see conduit wiring. This diagram shows two types of conduit wiring. On left hand side it is PVC conduit, and on right hand side it is metallic conduit wiring, that is of steel. Advantages: it is the safest wiring. Appearance is also good. No risk of fire or wear or tear problem is also not there. No risk of damage to cables. Safe for humidity, smoke, steam, and this is long lasting wiring system. Limitations: it is very expensive as compared to all other wirings. Installation is also not easy. Skilled labor is required for this type of wiring. Extension is also not easy, and moreover, the fault detection is also difficult. Then is concealed conduit wiring. Here you can see in previous method it was on surface. Conduits are laid on the surface, but in case of concealed, they are under the plaster. So the layout of this wiring is done under the plaster of the wall of the building. Conduit wires are buried under the plaster of wall with galvanized iron wire inside. GI wire is for earthing. The main PVC insulated cables are drawn through the conduit. So this is the comparison of different types of wiring. So first in first row it will be cleat, then casing and capping, batten and conduit. Cleat wire is temporary wiring system. All other three are for permanent installations. For cleat wiring, life is very less. Life is medium for casing and capping and batten, but life is good for conduit wiring system. Cleat wiring is very cheap system as it is for temporary installations, and then other systems are costly systems. Cleat wiring, it is not damp proof. Wires are exposed to the environment. Casing and capping are little damp proof. Batten is also little damp proof, but conduit they are very damp proof. Risk of fire is there in first three wiring systems, but there is no risk of fire in case of conduit wiring. Then alteration is easy, means extension is easy in case of cleat wiring system. In case of casing and capping, batten, the alteration is little difficult as compared to cleat, but alteration is very difficult in case of conduit wiring. There is no mechanical protection in case of cleat wiring. There is good mechanical protection in case of casing and capping, and then the mechanical protection is very good in case of conduit wiring. These are wiring accessories: main switch, distribution board, ceiling rose, socket outlet, plug, holders, gitty, saddle, conduit bends, and then the protective devices MCB and ELCB. Distribution board, so there are a number of MCBs there. So these MCBs are used to distribute the supply from the main circuit to the various sub-circuits. So this is the distribution box. Then the main switch. This is the main switch used to make or break the circuit of the whole installation. Conduit bends. Now, in case of conduit wiring, the wires are laid to the conduits after installing the conduits. So there are bends required in this type of wiring, so that wire can be easily pulled through the conduit. So at the bends, these conduit bends are used. Saddle, it is used to fix the conduits on the wall. Socket, so they have an insulated base having three terminal sleeves as shown in the figure. Ceiling rows, so they are used to provide the tappings with the help of a flexible wire to the lamp holders or to the fluorescent tubes. These are holders, lamp holders, batten and pendant holders. There are two types of holders there. Then are the protection devices. First one is MCB. So MCB is the miniature circuit breaker. They can be used as a main switch also. So MCB is an automatically operated electrical switch used to protect the installation from overload or short circuit conditions. So two types of protection MCB can provide. First one is overload and second is short circuit protection. So there are two operations in an MCB. One is thermal operation, other is magnetic operation. Thermal operation is to protect is for protection against overload conditions, and magnetic operation is for the protection against short circuit conditions. So there are two devices inside the MCB. One is the bimetallic strip, other is the electromagnetic relay. The overload protection will be given by bimetallic strip and short circuit protection will be given by electromagnetic relay. Because in case of short circuit protection, 6 to 7 times the normal current will flow through the installation, flow through the MCB. So this short circuit protection can't be given by the bimetallic strip. So for this, the instant action is required, which could only be provided by an electromagnetic relay. So for overload conditions, bimetallic strip will operate, and for short circuit conditions, electromagnetic relay will operate. So it's an MCB. Here you can see at the top right, there is a bimetallic strip which is for overload protection, and at the on the left hand side the trip coil is there. It is an electromagnetic relay. This is for short circuit protection. There is a fixed contact and moving contact. On the right side you can see at the right bottom fixed contact and then the moving contact. In case of normal conditions, the moving contact and fixed contact, they are joined, but in case of abnormal conditions, the moving contact will move away from the fixed contact and the circuit will get open. There are arc splitters. Arc splitters is to extinguish the arc, because when moving contact moves away from the fixed contact, there is an arc between these contacts. So to extinguish this arc, the arc chutes or arc splitters are required. Arc splitters basically increase the length of the arc, means it lengthens the arc, due to which the resistance of the arc increases and finally it will get extinguished. Then the second one is earth leakage circuit breaker. MCB provides the protection against overload and short circuit conditions. But when there is the leakage current, then an MCB can't provide any protection. So for such conditions, for protection against leakage currents, an ELCB will operate. If any current leaks, basically leakage occurs between phase and the neutral wire. So when this leakage occurs, the current can flow through the body of the machine or body of the main part of the installation, in which the current can flow and it can cause the shock to the human who is working on it. So if any leakage current leaks from any electrical installation, there must be an insulation failure. So it will be detected by an ELCB. ELCB detects the earth leakage current and makes the power supply off and opens its circuit. Here is the diagram of ELCB. There is P wire, that is phase, and the neutral. In normal conditions, the circuit breaker is closed. In case of abnormal condition means there is a leakage between phase and neutral. This leakage is detected by the core of the transformer. Here you can see the core, and it will operate the CT, which in turn gives the message to the relay to open its contact. So the contact will get open and the load will get cut from the main supply. So this is a wire gauge. Wire gauge is used to measure the size of the wire. So there are notches you can see of different sizes from 0 to 30 and then 31, 32, 33 up to 36. So these are notches. We can take the wire for which we want to know the size. We will put that wire to the notch of suitable size. The wire uh, the wire will get into the notch. We will note the number of the notch into which the wire is easily get into it. So from that number we can take the size of the wire from the table, that for this number notch the size in mm or size in inches is the will be given in that table. Measuring with wire gauge. So for example, the wire get fixed into the notch number 4 easily and comfortably. So the notch number 4 size we can read from the table. So this is a process to measure the size of the wire with the help of a SWG, that is standard wire gauge. Take the wire or sheet for which you want to know the size and try to insert into the notch. So there are three conditions. If the wire passes through the notch very freely, then you should move to the adjacent small notch. If the wire passes through the notch with correct tightness, then it will be the size of the wire. Take that number of the notch from the wire gauge and read it from the table, the size of the wire. If it didn't pass through the notch, then you can try to pass it through the adjacent bigger notch. Here's the example of the, it's just an example. So, for example, the wire gets fixed into the notch number 1. So, the size of the wire in mm will be 7.62 and in inches it will be 0.3. Thank you.